Hello, hello, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 live stream here in stormy Hawaii. I was going to start the stream with the Orbex Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, but I don't know if it broke the sim or if it was just a glitch, but when I tried to spawn in, it just did the whole, circle, circle, circle spinning thingy for a very long time. And then when I tried going somewhere else, it would just be stuck at that circle, circle, spinny thing until I restarted the sim. And here we are. So this was backup plan number 2. We'll try after this flight, we'll try going over to the Jurassic World Orbex. I have not tried it since the last update, so I thought that'd be kind of fun to give it a go ahead. Nevertheless, I have been flying the heck out of this SWS Kodiak 2024 version, and I love it. It's reminded me of why I really got into GA flying when I first started flying. It's an incredible aircraft. Incredible aircraft. I'm super excited to showcase it here again for day number 2. And I will say this. I have done many flights since our stream on Friday. I have not crashed once. So, with that said, we should hopefully have a much, much better flight today than we had the 3 flights on Friday. I should have got myself prepped for flying first before I went out there and, showcased this plane. But, I had a lot of fun. And I hope you had fun too, because it was an exciting time. P2, welcome in. Steven, welcome in as well. Jay says, surely Lex isn't late to his own stream. I was not late. I was on time. I was actually 2 minutes early. The sim was late. Kobe, welcome in as well. Crash is a stream special experience. I'm sure the guys over at SWS would beg to differ. Have an idiot like me in the stream. So, let's hop on in to this beautiful, beautiful aircraft, shall we? So here's the outside of the beautiful aircraft. I'm not showcasing it like I did the other day, walk around on that jazz, because we already saw all that jazz. Now, this is another beta build that came out shortly after the stream, actually on Friday, which kind of sucks. But there were some minor adjustments to it, some little fixes here and there. I did get my landing lights set up with Mobiflight now, so I don't have to worry about that issue with the pitot heat. And I haven't run into any bug breaking situations. Like I said, this is the latest version that I have access to, and still waiting for the release candidate, which will be releasing on the 27th for everyone. For everyone. So here in the cockpit, let's go on down below here. I'm going to go ahead and just add... Oop, wrong button. I'm going to go ahead and... What the hell's going on here? Go to aircraft, flight performance, and let's go ahead and add in some cargo. Load it. And then we'll get rid of that dude. Let's get the avionics turned on. P2 says it looks solid. It is a very solid plane. A very, very solid plane. If you're interested in joining in, multiplayer is on for the flight. Hold on now. Where's our departure airport? Origin and destination. I'll put it in chat for those who want to join if you'd like to. Departure and arrival. In chat. There you go. Okay, so we have that all set up in there. Let's go ahead and put that away. And then we're going to go up to the top here and get our fuel switches set up. Good. Down here below, let's get that going. Let's get some rotation on the engine. Let's get this stuff turned on. Waiting for that 20% up here as we do. There it is. Let's bring in the condition off fuel. Fantastic. Now waiting for that 50% here, and then we'll do the props. Props to there, and props. Whoop, props full. All right, that's all set up there. We'll set that over to GPS. And then on down here, let's turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. Get those gens going. Get our parking brake parking. Get some lights lighting up in here. And flaps. Flaps are set. Is this the hold on. Is the Caravan there for 2020? This is the Kodiak. The Kodiak. For 2024. 2024. Alright, how's the winds looking? 10 knots. Jesus, it's just windy everywhere today. Everywhere. I've been flying, I did, what, 4 or 5 flights this morning. It's just been windy everywhere. Windy everywhere, man. Alright, let's see. Which way should we turn? Let's going to turn to the right here. Kodiak turns on the dime. Taxi lights are on. Parking brake is turned off. Let's swing-a-rooly this plane. I figured we'd get out of Papua New Guinea for a little bit today, since we did a few flights with it the other day, and kind of see what kind of trouble we can get into. So we're going to take off, going to the south. It's a scary weather here. It's a scary weather. Like I said, we'll try the, on the second flight, we'll try the Jurassic World add-on. I also did add on, I downloaded, I should say, Parallel 42's Camp Out. I haven't used it much. I bought it way back when. Like, it does this thing. It does what it's supposed to do, but I never really used it much, so I uninstalled it. Especially since I hadn't really been doing GA stuff. And now that we're back with GA, you know, I figured it'd be nice to have. Airports, like the Kodiak, or there's Midlife Rex. Airports like in Papua New Guinea would be perfect for that. Would be perfecto for that. All right, here we go. Landing lights are turned on. Let's get our heading adjusted. Okie dokie. I don't need to get a new Kodiak. Whoa, Maddie. Welcome in, Maddie. Good to see you here. Hopefully you're doing well. All right, wind's 10 knots. And this flight's a little longer than the ones we did yesterday. This is 72 nautical mile, or was it 73? 73. All right, bring up the throttles. Let's bring up the condition. Uh-oh, my butt. Go down here. Conditioner. Throttle up. All right, let's go fly. Oh, there goes Midlife Rex, aka Kubi. And let's go and bring back the Yokin. Just like that, Kodiak's off the ground. A little bit of a wind there. No problem, no problem. We got it. Now, the few things that I learned the last, whatever, 48, I guess it's been like 30-ish hours or so. One of which is, with this yoke, you don't want to give it too much back pressure, because that's what was happening to me on the stream, as I was giving it a little too much back pressure, which was then causing the nose to fly up aggressively. So you just pull back on it slightly, and then bring it back forward. You know, push it forward a little bit. And that seems to cause that issue to go away. The same with the landing. I feel like the first 3 flights I did on Friday night, I was way too aggressive with the trim. I was over trimming versus letting the plane settle down with the torque. Once you get the, you know, the torque the way you want it to, then you can go ahead and adjust the trim. But I was kind of doing all of it at once, and it's one of those things where I just forgot. You know, how to fly this plane properly. Let's get the yaw damper on. GPS is also on. Why does it want us to turn that way? No, we want to go this way. All right, looking good. It's the SWS Kodiak. It's coming soon. Well, it's already out, but the 2024 version's coming coming soon. Coming soon to a theater near you. I tell you, man, it's so fun to get back into GA flying. It really, really is. I haven't flown an airliner now since Friday morning, I think. All right, let's go APs on. I think Friday morning's when I last flew an airliner, which if you've been in the stream for a while, you do know that I primarily do fly airliners. But this Kodiak is just, the update for it is so cool. It looks visually incredible. The sounds are amazing. The flight handling is incredible. Trying to figure out, it's been fun trying to figure out the whole Moza force feedback thing with it. I'm confused. Didn't the Kodiak just upgrade to 2024? Yes. Lex, why are you not doing a Sid and Star? You know, I'm just flying, just having fun. Just having fun. Strange, I got the Kodiak in 2024. Yes. So you have the 2020 version in 2024. The native 2024 version. Yes, there you go, TJ. Welcome in, TJ. This is the native 2024 version that will be coming out on the 27th. The 27th. I think it's $15, if I'm correct. I think it's $15. So there's quite a few things. They had the video showcased, a new showcase video that came out the other day. That weather the entire flight, Jesus. But there are a lot of things that they added in. One thing is the checklist. We kind of went over this just a brief amount, but he now has a checklist here. And let me see, I gotta figure out how to do it again. Checklist, there we go. And then, how do you get to the other one? Oh, Jesus. Broke it again. No, we don't want that. We'll go back, cancel. Exit. All right, let's go back to charts. Well, I added charts now. You can see the charts are now in there. All right. Checklist. All right, we're at 4,000 feet, looking good. I forgot how to develop. You have to acknowledge it, and then you have to go to the checklist guy. I just forget how to do it though. That's emergency stuff. Group. Here we go. Group. That's what it's under. All right, then you can go to your pre-flight checklist, in-flight, and post-flight. So we're technically in flight, and then we're cruise climb, and then here's all the stuff they say to do, right? And then you can go to the next one, etc. Right? So you gotta hit group. I forgot. All right, now that we're at cruising, 4,000 feet, we should probably go up to 5,000, but I'm not sure what the weather's like fully. Actually, we can get weather, can't we? In the charts, and then we can do weather. So here's our current weather, broken at 1,800, overcast at 6. Oh, Jesus, yeah. We'd have to climb up to who knows, God knows what. We'll just stick where we are. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And then also I want to switch this guy on down. So we want to bring this down to about 2,000 for the NP here, RPM. Close enough, 2020. All right, let it settle there, and we're looking good. We can bring up the throttle a little bit more if we want to. We got a little bit more torque we can pop in there. Just a little bit. There we go. Looking good. Let's see. So many familiar faces at ESP2. Let's see. Now, I'm not sure if it's the Fabius is included or not, or still paid expansion like it was in 2020. I think it's all of them. I think you get all of them. What was the announcement? What was the announcement they gave? Announcements, please. 2020 orders will receive a 50% upgrade. See you March 27th. That's a good question. Well, they do sell a package deal. So if you already own the floats and the wheels, in theory you'd get 50% off the package then, right? At my guess, at least. But I don't know for sure. I'm not 100% on that one. hopefully. Let's see, what else we got? I'm 765 outside of Dublin, then jumping into the caravan. Ooh, nice. Lands, welcome in. Okay, so we have about 17 nautical miles out to go for this flight. Let's go and look on the outside, not much to look at. Also, I'm not quite sure what was going on with the FPS the other day with auto FPS. Because it was like doing 25%. So I'm not quite sure. It's kind of, it seems like it's fixed itself. And this plane is just gorgeous, though. It is a beautiful, beautiful plane. Like the real world and the model plane, of course. but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous plane. Let's see, do you have an overlay for this flight? It says stream launching. Whoops, thanks for telling me that. All right, that's gone. I could, I guess, put it up here, the overlay. And I would just have to manually put in the information. What is it? Yeah. Where is the airport? Alright, what is that? HKO. Destination. PHOG. And then I'm not gonna do that because it's broken. But we can put Cody in here. There you go. There's the overlay at the top. Hopefully that helps you. What do we got? $10 from Maddie. Thank you, Maddie, for the 10 US dollars. Well, gotta head out for food shopping. Have fun. Thanks, Maddie, for coming in as always. Thank you again for the 10 US dollars. Much appreciated. Maddie comes in here, says hello, drops some money, and runs with life. Much appreciated, Maddie. I'm going to be working on a video after today's stream about the FS weekend, kind of the announcements happening with that. So I'm going to work on that today after the stream, get that up today. I did post a little short, minute and a half or so, YouTube short, Instagram short, I guess, reel, I guess I call it, right, of the Kodiak. And our friends at SWS actually posted it on their development Discord page, which is really, really cool. Thank you for that, SWS. Yeah, I can put it up there. It's fine. I'm not using a SimBrief profile for this flight, for any of these VFR flights. So I have to manually pop it in. But it's no big deal. Man, this plane is so cool. Alright, how are we sitting here? Everything's looking pretty good. We are 49 nautical miles out from the airport. We're expecting to land runway 20, so we're going to be pretty close to a 180 turn to make our arrival. The thing that's cool about GA stuff is you certainly could do long flights, right? You can do 300, 400 nautical mile flights. It's going to take a while. You can certainly do that. For me, I like doing short little flights, right? Even with airliners. I've talked about it before. I absolutely love, flights that are between 300 and 400 nautical miles. Freaking love it with a passion. When it comes to GA stuff, anything under 100 nautical miles is my bread and butter. Ideally, between that 50 and 100 nautical miles. That's how I did. I'll tell you the story here in a second. P2, with the $13.99 Canadian, which is probably more money than the US right now. The conversion rate, it's probably not. Thank you, P2, for that. Much, much appreciated. P2's been a long-time subscriber. We'll be looking at the other day, 20 months. And then he's been part of the community even longer than that. Because the members weren't, the members were not available right away. But P2's been a great friend to have, a great friend of the North, from the North up there. Well, I guess not technically from the North, but lives in the North. And it's so much fun to be able to meet. And I've talked about this so often on streams, but the best part of streaming is you get to meet other people that are passionate about flight simming, and then you start connecting with these people, right? You start learning that you have more in common than just flight sim. And then they become not just your flight sim friends, but your friends. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. That's what's amazing about the time we live in today. And this obviously isn't just like, you know, the last couple of years. This has been going on for a couple of decades now. But you know, you've heard those stories where people who were playing on the Xbox, you know, playing Halo on the Xbox, and they become real life friends that never met in real life. But they had so many fun conversations, you know, whether it's text chat or, you know, voice chat, to get to know each other. And, you know, you can share some things that you may not with a stranger. And I think it's so cool to have that experience, you know, being able to conversate with J. Russ and P2 and Irishman and Apex and Kubi, Steven, you know, it's so much fun to have all these people to get to meet. And, you know, we all get to meet because of Flight Sim, right? Waiting for the Kodiak 900 to... Oh, me too. I can't wait for the 900. I'm so super excited for the 900. Super, super excited. Had to order the TCA yoke again. I miss having the front of it cut into my crotch. That's fantastic. The TCA yoke is really, really good. Now, I've done... I did a video with the TCA for the Kodiak. Well, with the Kodiak way back when my first you know, time with the TCA yoke, and it worked really well. In that video I said that I felt like I had more control over the aircraft with that yoke, but as I went back into the Honeycomb Alpha, I started realizing I feel like the Alpha is the better yoke between the two, at least for the Kodiak. At least for the Kodiak. But that TCA yoke is pretty dang impressive. It is a really cool yoke. I know Missy Apex recently got it. Jay Russ ordered it. It's a really cool yoke. If, you know, well, now I don't know. I was gonna say, if for whatever reason I decided not to have this Moza yoke anymore, I'd go to TCA, but that's not true, because force feedback has spoiled me now. There's no doubt about it. Force feedback has spoiled me. This is an expensive device. $1,000 is super expensive. But, you know, Wind Control and Meridian are both working on force feedbacks as well that are more ideally priced than this, you know, $900 for this thing. So it's one of those things like, would you go back in time? Would you not buy the Moza and just stick with the Alpha until the Meridian's coming out? You know that kind of jazz. And it's like, well, I don't know. This Moza is really cool. The limitations the Moza software, or sorry, the Moza AY210 has is the software itself from Moza. But they're continuously updating it, right? And it's getting better and better. It seems like every single month. The last update was it earlier this month, or maybe it would have been the month without, or a month before. Random welcome in says, what's a good yoke to start on, with or without force feedback? Without. Force feedback is expensive. It is really expensive, yeah. Some of the best friendships start that way. Yeah. Stephen, 100%. 21 months is what P2 says. J-Ro says, I was limited on yoke options because my Airbus setup. I need TCA to install and remove easily. Wouldn't the Alpha have been easier? J-Russ? Like, even gone with the Alpha Light, which is, I don't know, $200? Okay, so we're seeing some mountains here. Seeing a little bit of mountain there, so we might be breaking out of some of the weather. The weather. Even though radar shows it's not. Next rad shows there's lots of weather in the area. I do wonder if Honeycomb's going to work on a force feedback, you know, like Meridian with Nikki. It's going to be interesting. I'm assuming, I'm guessing. So they said the pre-orders are starting in April or something like that. I can't remember. Or what do you say? Soon? Or 2 weeks or something? I can't remember. I saw something about pre-orders. I don't know if it was for the yoke though. One of the things I'm most excited about when it comes to the Flight Sim Expo in June is to try some of the hardware there. You know, I think that's something I'm most excited about for the expo, other than meeting, you know, some of you all who are going to be there. But trying out, you know, the Meridian products. Hopefully they'll be live and use, you know, able to use anything Moza has, of course, and then wind control. You know, all of them I'm super excited to try out. If you have the money, though, force feedback, possibly. Yeah, no doubt about it. Sting, welcome in. Force feedback for sure it's you know, I've talked about it before. When it comes to like the side stick, I don't know. That one I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know really with the side stick if it's maybe if you do like fighter, you know, flights and stuff like that. But for just GA stuff or airliner stuff, I don't know if a side stick would be is great to have for force feedback. But definitely a yoke. There's no doubt about it. Surprised to see that Meridian is force feedback at $599. Yeah, it's a really good price. Yeah, I see the terrain. I see the terrain. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Terrain, terrain, pull up. All right, so we're landing runway 20. So let's go with the G1000. You go over here to procedures, select approach, and then you can swing on down to the bottom and then select the runway. So visual 20. We're going to do vectors. Vector. Just supposed to put the minimum in. I'm skipping it for now. And then that. Uh-oh. I was supposed to do straight. Damn it. All right, hold on. Procedures. Select. Visual. Straight. There we go. All right, we're cooking. We're fine. We're back at it. All right, making a turn. Making a turn on over. And we want to be at 1500 at straight, which is somewhere up there. All right, now we got to keep an eye on that terrain for sure. We might have to go up here. Yeah, let's go up. Let's go up 5,000 just to make sure we're clear. I've never used DCS. Never ever, but I'm not really into the military stuff. Oh, this might not be good. Let's climb a little faster. I remember doing a stream way back when, where we like barely made it over the mountain. All right, watch that airspeed too. It's coming back pretty low. And we're gonna have to go higher. Higher, or we're gonna have to turn. Let's turn. Let's go heady mode. All right, we're gonna go AP off. Manual fly here. We'll make it over this easily. Easily. If I would just stayed on the course we were on, I think we would have been all right, because we were over this higher tip. We would have been more south of this big tip. No problem. See? No problem. What are y'all freaking out about? All right, we're going to stick at 5,000 for now with the altitude. All right, AP's back on. Let's zoom on into our map. Top descent has not... Where's top descent go? Maybe because we climbed, we should probably start descending then. Let's go down to... We don't want to go that low, I guess. See, watch. You see right here? Right here on the primary screen? Watch the boxes there. If I go lower, so we're at 34, 33, 32, 31, 3,000, 29. I'm gonna keep on going lower. You see, so now they go into the ground. Right there. Oh, not right there. 24 goes into the ground. It means you'll be too low. So we're gonna go 24. Let's make our turn over. Let's go into nav. We'll capture GPS here. And then we'll start our descent. Nice calm 500 feet per minute. Should be fine. Bring back that throttle ever so slowly. Barrel roll. Steven says DCS is worth it if you're into military aircraft, but definitely not the Steam version. Is there not a, is there another version? I always thought there was just Steam. That shows you how much I know about DCS. Let's see, might buy the X-Crafts ERJ and EJET. Isn't there a free X-Crafts EJET? I thought there was a free one. I don't know if it's any good, but just saying, I thought there was a free one. I've got a friend that spent way too much money on DCS and has plenty of, has pretty much all of it on Steam. Like it, so you can buy direct. I assume you can buy directly from DCS, right? Kind of like X-Plane, you can buy that directly from them. I considered buying X-Plane. What's it on sale right now with the Steam sale? I considered it. But let's be real. I'm not gonna use it. Like I wouldn't mind trying some of the freeware aircrafts. But you know, let's be real. Let's not kid ourselves. All right, let's see. We want to go down to 15. And let's go ahead and drop down a little faster now. Reduce our speed. Let's go ahead and bring our prop forward again. You get DCS directly from Eagle. Yeah, that's who makes it. Eagle Dynamics, right? Yeah. The only downside of DCS is how expensive it is. Well, I'm going to say that's probably the same thing with X-Plane, though, too, right? You know, if you look at the pricing, this is prior to 2020. You know, Flight Sim 2020 that came out. But I remember X-Plane add-ons used to be pretty darn expensive. Sceneries, aircrafts, all of it used to be pretty expensive. You know, and to this day, I've never bought a single X-Plane add-on. Because I just blew the default stuff. But, like, when I was using X-Plane, I really wasn't into flight simming like it was in the past. It was kind of just scratch the itch kind of thing. But it was at E3 where Flight Sim 2020 was announced, and my jaw dropped. And it just sucked me into it. The question is this. I've never really thought about it, but the question is, if Flight Sim 2020 was never released, I definitely wouldn't be flying X-Plane right now. Because again, that was a scratch. Oh, there's a 717 over there. It was just a scratch the itch, right? What would I be doing? What would I be? Would I be just more into like racing? I might be hardcore into racing, or maybe American Truck Sim. I asked my friend the other day, well, I guess yesterday, if he'd be interested in doing multiplayer with Truck Sim. He's not really into that. He doesn't have a wheel and all that stuff. He's not really into like racing stuff. But he said he'll try it. So I figured, what the hell? We'll give it a shot. So he'll be using a controller to start off with. And you know, I was like, well, if you like it, you know, you can buy a affordable racing wheel. You know, there's ones that aren't great that you can buy for, you know, whatever, 150 bucks or so. That'd be interesting to see how that works out. I'm just more interested in it because they're coming out with the Illinois map, and I live in the great state of Illinois, so I'm super excited about that. I've tried out the free fly. I tried out the free fly is great because XP, but uses the default FMC, and that's not bad, but not great, and doesn't have VNAV and stuff. Ah, okay. Steven, you use the truck sim? Do you do American Truck or Euro? I have 300 hours on Truck Sim with the virtual company. Nice. All right, let's get our first notch of flaps out here to bring up that throttle. Getting ready for arrival. And finally, we want to be at about 900. So let's go ahead and continue our descent. The weather's a bit frightful. Steven does both. Oh, okay. Nice, this weather. At least it's like visually enough. All right, we gotta slow down. Slow down, buddy. Slow down. Slow down. We got flaps 1, or sorry, flaps 10, I guess. Yeah, flaps 10. All right, slow us on down. No airport in sight at this moment. I'm gonna put altitude at 500. All right, I think. Yeah, there's a runway. Our AP's coming off my aircraft. All right, let's go second notch of flaps. Bring up that throttle a little bit. Now you can see here on the G1000, we can see our approach chart, which is really not, or not chart, but guidance, which is very, very handy. Wind's 20 knots right now. Jesus, folks, 20 knot wind. All right, get that speed up, get that speed up, get that speed up. We're dropping out. Once we made that turn, that wind just pushed us. All right, looking better, looking better. Happies are showing we're low. Make sure adjustments with the trim. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of the nameplate so I can see what the hell I'm paying attention to. All right, now we're a little high on the approach. Settle down, just calm down. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Man, this wind's something to play around with today. Now, whenever the wind's gusting this high, I like to come in a little bit faster. You can see ground speed's 88 right now because it's 20 knot headwind. So I come in a little bit hotter when the wind's, you know, straight up like this. You don't want to stall out of the sky. And then knowing that the wind's this powerful, I know it's going to slow down pretty easily once we get lower, you know, once we get on the runway. So our ground speed's 84 right now. Winds are down to 10. All right. Idle it, flare it gently, gently, gently. Right in the touchdown zone. Reversers. That was a cool flight. Weather made it unique. Is that midlife Rex? Kubi? Now this is a STOL aircraft. Talked about this the other day, but this is a STOL aircraft. So it's a short takeoff and landings. You don't need a lot of runway to get on the ground with this plane. Or to get up in the air or on the ground, I should say. Alright, flaps are up. Very good first flight. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go to Jurassic World now. Or we'll at least attempt to go to Jurassic World now. Kind of see how things play out. I don't know if you can join me on Kubi on this one. I don't know if you have the Jurassic World DLC. Alright, parking brake is set. That's off. So, if you want to turn off the engines, all you gotta do is pull back. You can pull this guy back first. And then pull this guy back here. When you're taxiing, you want to go to low idle. And then you can pull this all the way out. That cuts off the engines. Then you do the emergency fuel up there, and then cut off the fuel switches. Then engines turn off. Look at that. Beautiful. Now they did add, we're not going to notice it on this flight probably, right? Yeah. They did add dirt and all that jazz, but we have nothing, we don't have any of that. The next flight we might have something. So let's go over to the next flight. Let's see if we can load into Jurassic World. I've got 300 hours in ETS. Oh, really? And 20 in American Truck Sim. All right, now where is that Jurassic stuff at now? Let me forget. It's off the coast of something. Is it this one here? No, it's not that. The heck is the Jurassic stuff? That's too far. That's Hawaii. Hawaii? Oh, here, right? Nope. Where the hell? I always forget where it is. You gotta like zoom in for it to show up too. What's this place? No, that's not it. Keep going. I keep going. I keep looking at. Oh, here it is. Right? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Off the coast of Mexico. All right. Let's see if we can load in now. So we'll start off here, and then we'll go to this end of the island, and then we'll go to ramp. It's 28 nautical miles. Let's see if we can fly. It might take a few moments to load it in. I don't know if it makes a WASM folder. Maybe that's what's going on. So if it doesn't load in, I can clear out the WASM folder, I guess, because I'm probably got to restart the sim anyways. Orbex 2024. No, there's no WASM folder. It's not making a WASM folder. All right, well, I'll just let it sit here for a little bit. If it doesn't work, doesn't work. We'll go somewhere else to fly. Jesus, man, it was 70. It was about 70 degrees yesterday here in Illinois. Today, it's 43 degrees. 30-degree change in weather. Our apartment here, it was at one point it reached up to 81 degrees. 81 degrees. And that's with fan in the window and all that jazz. I refused to turn on the AC for one single day. And it stayed in the high 70s in the unit until into the evening. Late evening. Early morning, I guess it'd be today. Should drive a truck. Oh, should do a truck drive. I think this is broken. It just will not load in. And now I probably can't load into anywhere. Now it's probably broke. It probably broke my sim. All right, let's see. Let's go somewhere else then. Let's go. Let's do some coast flying. Whoops. Let's go. How far is this? 47? Let's try that. All right, let's see if it loads in. Oh, shoot, I forgot to... It's going to start us on the runway. Yeah, I think the Jurassic World just breaks my game. It breaks my sim. Alright. Yep. It broke it. Alright, gotta uninstall Jurassic World, I guess. Or Jurassic Park. Just breaks my sim. Alright. We gotta restart the sim. Bear with me, folks. We gotta restart a sim. Let's get some jams while we're doing that. Not that jam. Let's do that one. And now the sim won't, like, turn off, so I have to kill the task. All because of freaking Jurassic World. Alright, let's see. Kill that, kill that. Kill that, and kill that. Alright. And I'm actually gonna, this very second, also uninstall the Jurassic World thing. So I don't forget to do it later. That's unfortunate. Jurassic Winter, go bye-bye. Alright. That's gone bye-bye. Let's relaunch the Simon. Jurassic World would be killing more than just dinosaurs. Yeah, right? It's a shame, because I want to try it out. We'd be limited just really to that one island, because the other ones are all for helicopters. I don't play helicopters. I'm terrible at them. God awful at them. So, should we go to Papua New Guinea, or should we do something in the Caribbean? Mexico? Cuba? Alaska? What say you? I'm open to suggestions. The other thing that's interesting is Mobiflight's been really weird for me too. It's randomly not launching up. Like it launches but doesn't connect. I don't know why. So Lanka in Asia. We could try it. Well, yeah, why not?
FSREALISTIC if less connected.
That's off the coast of India, I believe, right? Alright, so India. That's down here. Let's do this airport. That's an air... I think it's airbase. Let's not do that airport. Let's do this one. Depart. And arrival. Wow, it's 106 nautical miles, really? This is a little closer. Let's do this one. 95. It's a little bit closer. We'll do that flight there. Although we can do it down here, too. Let's do that one. Alright. We'll do this. And start flight.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
You need to start set parking brakes. Should we fly at night? Should we fly during the day? Wow, it's really dark. Okay. It's coming in.
You need to set parking brakes to request ground services.
Shut up. Orbeck. I mean, what's it called? GSX. Alright, let's do nighttime, because I haven't flown nighttime yet. Steven says do daytime. Alright, we'll do daytime. We'll get rid of our little guy up top here. Daytime. So, weather. We'll keep weather the way it is, but we want to roll the time. Let's do dusk. Okay. Let me fix my R, or VRR. VAR. Alright, get rid of that guy. Get rid of this guy. Over here. Get rid of that guy. Hop into the cockpit. I would like if they added that stuff to the tablet. That's not in here, is it? No. It'd be cool if they added that stuff to the tablet. All right, let's go ahead and go to cargo. Let's add in some stuff. Load the aircraft immediately. And let's go ahead and get this stuff going. I'm surprised that people have renamed it. Or haven't renamed it. Renamed what? Sri Lanka? And then we'll go up here. Good. And then get this guy going down there. Engine rotation. Again, at the 20% here for the NGs, we're going to introduce fuel. Low idle. Go on down here, and then once we get 40%, or 50%, sorry, we'll introduce the props. Full props. Let's get this all on auto. Lights. Parking brake. Alright, and then turn this off, up. These on. And flaps. Why are you being stupid, VRR? I don't get it. I did some test this morning and I uninstalled NVIDIA app to see if that was causing it. I don't know why it's just randomly doing it. It's just being stupid. Taxi lights are on and parking brake is released. The airport is the airport. Oh, it's named after a bad family who bankrupted the country. Jeez, really? Holy smokes. Alright, here's the runway. Technically shouldn't be taken off from this runway, but you know what? We're in a sim, folks. Let's go on down here. Full conditioner. Look at that sunset. Jesus, folks. You know, the best part about doing GA stuff is you get to just... I can't talk. You get off the ground so fast. Alright, throttle forward. Torque. Stabilized. Bring it back just a little bit. Torque, good. Let's go. We got a 6-knot tailwind. Again, I should have been doing a full turn, but, you know, it's fine. 50 and 60. Bring back the yoke. Oh, Jesus. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened there? Okay, that was interesting. I don't know if the payload was just bad or something. Jesus, folks, that was bad. Alright, swing over to the right. Flight director's on. And we'll climb at 1,000. Yeah, that's weird. No, I'm not sure what that was. The tailwind messed with us? Maybe? Flaps up. Go to heading mode. Kind of looks like Africa. I was doing around the continent in Africa like 2 years ago. Kind of reminds me of. Actually, it's been probably 3 years now. That was back in Flight Sim 2020. Alright, on heading, we'll go over here to nav, yaw damper, and AP's on. Looking good. Look at that. Look at it. Jesus, folks. You get to see some scenery if you go during the day, I see what you're saying. Night would have been interesting. The next flight I want to do is, we'll do night. For the next flight, we'll do night. And I think we'll do 2 more flights after this one. We'll do 2 more flights after this one. Of course, Steven. That's the other thing about doing GA stuff, is I'm willing to fly wherever, man. I'm willing to fly wherever. When it comes to airliner stuff, I want to be comfortable with the airport, you know, comfortable enough. I want to be comfortable with the ATC, you know, stuff like that, right? Just things I want to be comfortable with. When it comes to GA stuff, you know, it is what it is. You'll figure it out. I think I should have readjusted my trim on departure, on that takeoff. I left it at default. I think that might have been what went wrong with that. How's our rudder? Rudder's looking good. Okay. Man, look at that. Flight Sim 2024. Stunning. Just absolutely beautiful. You know what's not beautiful? VRR. I don't know why it does it. I don't... I guess the only other thing I could try real quick, we're going to pause. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to switch this to 3, even though we're on 3. We're being forced at 3. I don't know if that's what's causing it to be goofy. Try that. I thought it was like alt-tabbing to different windows, but that's not causing it either, because I haven't alt-tabbed anything. It just randomly stops working. It captures how it looks in real life. Really? Look at that. Jesus, folks. Do we have any traffic around us? Alright, let's get in the cockpit real quick, make sure we don't have no mountains. Nope, all looking good. And 16 minutes here. Zoom on out. We're landing runway 4. Alright, so pretty much straight ahead. Take a turn, and there's no mountains. So we can stick at 2,000 for this entire flight. We're going to go down below. Nope, that didn't fix it because VRR is still broken. Alt-tab is your friend, but it shouldn't have to be. Bring this back down to 2,000. Save some fuel. Looking good. Okay, cool. The next one I want to do, though, is I want to land in... I want to land on dirt. So I'm going to see if we can find some airports with some dirt. I guess we could do Papua New Guinea. We'll say Papua New Guinea for the last one. I want to do a night flight next, and then we'll do Papua New Guinea for the last one. Let's see if we can do a dirt track, or dirt airport in Papua New Guinea, which is most of them. I don't remember seeing the dirt show up on the last flights, but I guess I really didn't look on the outside either. We'll be landing somewhere, somewhat close to where I live. Oh, really? That's awesome. I remember when we did the technical alpha for Flight Sim 2024, and what was so cool about it is the fact that people were guiding us, right? We hopped in, what do we have available? Like a Cessna 172 or something? We hopped in the Cessna, we're just flying around in the Cessna, and people were directing us to where they live. It was so freaking cool, man. I wish I had more time that night to fly, but I had to work the next morning. I should have just flew as much as I could, all night, and just said the hell with sleep. But it was such an amazing experience to have people like, oh, hey, go to Atlanta, hey, go to Charlotte, wherever, and they're showing, hey, that's where I work, or that's where I used to live, or if you follow this river here, that's where the park will be here. It was so cool to experience that kind of stuff. That's where, like, Flight Sim, especially Flight Sim 2024, has just changed the experience when it comes to VFR flying. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's, you don't really have, I don't know, words are hard to express how amazing this sim looks and the experience. I got a friend over for Christmas. I think it was Christmas. And we went to where he grew up. And he was flying, I think I had him in a 152. And he was flying around. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And if I follow this road up here, this is where my daughter was born. It's just incredible experience. Just incredible experience. I don't know why, but I really like this angle. I really, really do. It's cool looking. Now you can change the flight number. You know, that's a not call sign. Can't think of what to call it right now. You can change that in the settings, the flight sim settings. All right, we got 10 minutes to go for the arrival. Pretty much just following this road, it looks like, right? Steven probably knows what that road is. We're pretty much going to follow this road on up. And then landing runway 4, so it's a slight turn to the right. I'll wait to put in the approach till we get a little bit closer to the airport. Makes me want to get 2024 just for this. Man, there was so much hate with Flight Sim 2024 when it launched. So much hate. And some of it can be justified. You know, Asobo wasn't quite honest with us about third-party add-ons. And a lot of us have spent a lot of money on our add-ons. And to not be able to use them anymore, when Asobo said that most would work, you know, kind of, I don't know. It left a bit of a sour taste. Again, some of it can be fair to assess. You know, some of the server issues we know wasn't ideal. Knowing how the launch of Flight Sim 2020 went, which was pretty smooth, and then you experience 2024's launch, you're like, what happened? Especially when you knew you made it, you know, you pushed everything to the cloud, versus 2020 where it was all locally installed, mostly. You know, Soba just dropped the ball on it, but they were quick to fix it. You know, within 2 days or so, that server issue was pretty much solved for most people. And the add-ons, it took a while. It took most of the year, but eventually the add-ons started coming on in. And now, you know, pretty much all the add-ons we had for 2020 work in 2024, minus a handful. But the Kodiak, you know, the 2020 version Kodiak does work in 2024. You just don't get all the features that you get from the 2024 version. And I'll say this, like, even if I didn't fly the Kodiak, knowing how good of a developer SWS is, I would just buy the plane just to support them. You know? Because they're a really good developer. Alright, 8 nautical miles out. We're gonna go ahead and reduce our speed just a hair because we're getting close to the max speed. Just a hair, bring it back. Alright, that's all looking good. And we are about 24 nautical miles out. Go ahead and zoom on in. I'm going to wait until about 15 nautical miles out. Then we'll go ahead and set up the approach for runway 4. Yeah, it's a southern highway. We're just pretty much following this all the way up. But it's sims like this that really show you how far technology has advanced with you know, games, because like there's no way anyone could have imagined with Flight Sim 2001 that this is what the world would look like, right? Be able to use real world satellite imagery and then using AI to figure out where trees should be, where the roads are to where you put cars on it, right? Where land would be rough and bouncy and hard, so where you can't land a plane without dying, right? There are so many advancements when it comes to Flight Sim 2020 and 2024, that's a huge plus to the gaming industry. A huge plus. And it's some things that people I don't think really are thinking enough about. There are going to be issues, right? The world's big. There's lots of trees. There are going to be some issues. You're going to run into issues with like rivers and lakes and all that jazz, right? You know, if we look around here, here's this river here, right? It is kind of abruptly ends here. Which maybe it does in real life. I don't know. It could just end right there. But I think it follows right here. You can kind of see the outline still of it right here. I think. You know, it looks like it just kind of comes on into somewhere over here. You know, so you're going to run into those kind of issues. God, this stupid VRR. I don't know why it's doing this. Aggravating the heck out of me, though. Oops, wrong button. Alright, back into the cockpit. 2,000, we are about 16 nautical miles out. Let's go ahead and start our approach information. So, approach runway 4 is what we want. We're going to do straight. And again, you could put in the minimums, which I have no idea what they're going to be. But you can turn them to baro, plop it on over, and put in whatever the minimums are. Let's just say 200. And then enter, and then scroll on down to activate. There we go. GPS is set up. Runway 4 now. Go back. And then, I thought you could see minimums here. Maybe not. Nah, it's a small airport, so I probably don't have them. Okay. We're going to be at 15, so we're going to do 1600 at straight. 1600 at straight. We got plenty to work with here, though. Plenty to work with. And we should be on the ground here in about, I don't know, six-ish minutes or so. Yeah, look at the back is super heavy with cargo. Something got messed up with the load. That's why it... Yeah, look at that. Get a bunch of weight back here. Yeah, something got broken with the load. We look at the tablet. I was saying 105. Center of gravity 39. Yeah, no, I think something got messed up with the load. For sure. Hope this wasn't too long. The airport is used for military and a lot of flight schools. Oh, really? The one we're coming into? No, this wasn't too long at all. This is fine. You know, it's within the 20 minutes or so flights. Oh, here we go. Coming up. I don't know if this is downtown or whatever this is. Look at that. That's cool. Do you get a lot of tsunamis down here? Tropical storms and whatnot? Or over here? I guess it's not down here. It's over here. I guess it is technically down for me. Down over here? Alright, so let's go ahead and reduce some of the speed. It went in 2004. Oh, jeez. And then bring that forward. God, stupid. I don't know why the VRR is doing that. I don't know why. Actually, I want to test something real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go to settings, advanced options, developer mode, save it, resume. I'm going to see if it's just maxing out anything. I know you can't see this part. Alright, when it happens again, I'll keep an eye on it. I was just wondering to see if it's messing with the virtual memory, but I still have like a lot. 8 gigs to work with, so I don't think it's that. It's crazy seeing the area from the sim. Barry says, where would be a good place to stay if I'm visiting? Ooh, if you're visiting, that'd be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and put in 15. 500 feet per minute should work fine. Let's reduce our speed. Alright, when it brakes, it drops. Interesting. Everything goes green. I'm at 80 FPS. It's very interesting when this happens. If I click off screen for a little bit, click back on, what happens? Nope. Fascinating. It just like locks up. And now if I do Alt-Tab... Huh. Oops. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, 15. Making our final turn. Depending on where you want, you can explore around. Our final is... What's our altitude for final? Final is at 849, so let's do 9. And then continue our descent. Airport is in sight. Fields in sight. Beautiful. Beautiful. Welcome in for those who are in for the very first time. We're on approach Sri Lanka in the Kodiak for Flight Sim 2024. This is the pre-release version. Autopilot's off my aircraft. This is our second flight today. Yeah, second flight today. I'm going to do 2 more. The next one's going to be a shorter one. And then the final one, we'll go hop on over to Papua New Guinea. Not quite sure what we'll do for the next one, though. Might go do Alaska. Or I guess we can go up to Canada, too. I want to do some snow. Alright, reduce our speed. Slow down, slow down. Gotta get flaps out. Our first notch of flaps are out. Now the Kodiak has auto trim for flaps, which is kind of cool. $500. 500 call, flaps 20. Oh, this is kind of dangerous. Are these buildings this tall next to the airport? Real life? Alright, it's a slight crosswind. 3 knots only, nothing crazy. Bring up the speed. Gently. Yeah, this is crazy if this is real life with these buildings this close to the runway. I guess I could have been coming in. I should have been coming in much higher, but still. We're off to center line, substantially. Our reverser. Alright, not my finest landing by any means, but we're on the ground at least. Definitely not my finest landing. Got some tall buildings in Asia countries. Definitely not this is high and close. Like I said, I should have been coming in a little bit higher yet, but that seems still way too freaking close. Very cool. All right, let's see. Next, where we go? We go to somewhere with the snare. Let's go up to Alaska. Now, there's an airport called... Isn't there an airport called... Yeah, there's an airport right here called Kodiak. Let's depart there. And how close is this one? Oh, that's water. Can't do that one. That's way too close. All right, Larson Bay. Arrival airport. Doesn't give me... Oh, there you go. 62 nautical miles. I want something shorter than that. 56. Oh man, we're in LVFR conditions. Alright, I guess we're not going to go with that side. We'll go over here then. That airport, we'll go over here. To departure. Alright, now I think this is a cool airport to land at, so I'm going to reverse this. Parking, fly. Alright, let's do this. Gonna head off to bed. It's midnight here and have to work tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your flight. Thank you, Stephen, for coming in. Thank you for the recommendation for the cool airport for sure. Or flight, I should say. Oh, it was reversed. This was the airport. That was cool to land at. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, it is reversed. Stupid VR. My gosh. Oh my god, it's really windy here. Alright, this ought to be interesting. Uh oh. Where are you going? Plane. Hey, come back here. Where are you going, plane? Alright, let's load in some cargo. Insta-load. Alright, cool. Let's get this all rolling. Alright, that's doing its thing up to the top. And then, engine starting. Pitot heat needs to be turned on. Conditioner. Props. Strobes, nabs, all good. Alright, engine still rotating, waiting for the green to come out, or yellow, sorry, not green. There we go. And we can turn that off, turn that off. Turn that off. Gens. That's all good. Taxi lights are on. Alright, and wind's coming from behind us. We're going to end up going straight around here for the taxi, and then we'll be alright. Altitude currently is on the ground, is pretty much ground level, sea level I should say, so we're going to go 3,000 feet. VRR is broken already, and let's go. Yeah, this is a really cool airport to land at. I've landed at this one a few times. I did it with the what's the other Cessna, the 4 something, 410? No, what is it? The cargo one, not the Caravan, but the other one. That's in 2024. I took that one here many times. It's not the plane to come here with, by the way. Definitely not the plane to come here with. Alright, landing lights are on for departure. Conditioner's full. Alright, here we go. We got a 24 knot headwind. We're going to go straight on departure. There's our airport runway 6, or runway 16. Throttle going up. Actually, let's readjust our trim. Oh, flaps too, duh. Alright, we'll probably start getting airborne at about 40 knots with this wind. It's a slight crosswind as well. Alright, let's go. Oh boy. Jesus. Well, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad at all. Uh-oh. Watch out. The wind's pushing us towards the mountain. Alright. And flaps up. Yaw damper, nav. And let's climb at 700 feet initially. Let's do 800 feet initially. Whew. Okay. That was a pretty easy departure, which terrifies me. That means the arrival is going to be scary as heck. Although we don't have a mountain right next to us. This would have been a cool landing, though. We'll save that for the next one. We'll go Papua New Guinea for the next final flight. A little bouncy right now. Take it easy. Alright, autopilot is on. Alright, looking good. Feeling good, looking great. Or reverse that. Fantastic. Alright, let's go see look at with Kodiak. I said I wanted snow, but of course we didn't get snow. I'm not seeing any of the dirt on the aircraft either. Do I have a setting turned off? I kind of wonder, do I have some setting turned off that's causing the dirt to not show up? Maybe it's only on landings, but you'd think they'd be on takeoff too. I forgot to set the altimeter. Yeah. Alright, coming up to 3,000 feet on this flight. We'll be on the ground here. We're doing runway 16. We gotta do a 180. So we'll probably be on the ground in about 17, 18 minutes, give or take. The C-25C up in front of us. You know, like, there's the pluses and minuses of having multiplayer on. Like, it's nice to have multiplayer for group flights, right? But personally, for someone like myself, I don't like multiplayer because it kind of breaks some of the immersion. You know, you're landing on the airport and you got a plane, you know, or you're just getting ready to land. Or sorry, you're getting ready to take off and there's a plane, you know, that spawns on a runway. It's just all kind of stuff like that, right? I'm guilty of it on spawning on runways too accidentally. I've done it before. Or I'll do it when I'm testing on a plane or something like that. You know, like when this Kodiak been going through its beta testing early on. You know, I just spawned on a runway real quick just to see, but I had multiplayer turned off. Barry says, just browsing NewSky rating. Quinn is still suspending. Yeah, I think Irishman put him on a week or two suspension. So he won't let him back in until he learns his lesson. For those who do not know, we have a NewSky virtual airline, ! NewSky. You can see how to join our virtual airline. So you just go to you go to newsky.app, download the app, and then it's all free. And then search for Fly Lex. Irishman puts a lot of work into it. I haven't really been flying it much because I've talked about this the last couple of streams, but I've really gotten away from career mode stuff. I have 8 days or so left of iFly schedules, which I really like, but I'm just going to use, you know, random flight generators. I found one called, what's it called? NextSimFlight or something like that. NextSimFlight.com. But there's also, you can still use iFly schedules for free to generate a flight. You can use SimBrief World's random flight generator. There are tons of generators out there you can use. So I'm going to use that kind of stuff when I start go back into using airliners, which, you know, won't be too long from now. But here on the channel, we're going to mix it up a little bit. The pole, let me see what the pole is, what it's currently at. The pole was put up the other day. How come I can't see the results? Oh, here we go. Okay. 42% say continue, which is airliners, and 58% say mix between the two. And it's just by two different people. So, there's still a couple more days left, but I think people have spoken. Plus, I really do want to get back in the GA stuff. I've talked about it so much in the past that I'm interested in getting back in the GA stuff. So the Kodiak, you know, is the start of it all. We'll try out that Cessna Cargo one I keep forgetting the name of, not the Caravan, but the other one, again as well. And then, you know, maybe if I decide to get it, I'll get the Black Square Caravan, try that as well. But kind of get back into some of the GA stuff. I guess I could also do the Comanche. But I gotta see like what interests me with GA, right? I have fun flying the Kodiak because it's something that I'm challenging myself to get better at again. But once I feel comfortable with it, I might get bored with it, right? I think that's kind of what happened in the past, where I was just really comfortable with the Kodiak, and airliners was a challenge to learn, a very big challenge to learn. So I accepted that challenge, and I wanted to get better at it, and I found myself really loving the flight planning and the structure of you know, the career modes and whatnot, and that kind of just sucked me into it. And now that I no longer feel like I need to have that structure, that's where the GA stuff has been like, okay, this is cool to have again. Like, just kind of pop in, fly wherever the hell I want to go, wherever my heart desires, and hit the button and go fly. You know, no structure, no requirements, no generating 10 flights ahead of time and be like, all right, well, this is what I gotta do the next 10 flights, or skip a flight. You know, now it's just like, whatever, do what I want. Right? And then using stuff like a random flight generator from SimBrief Worlds or iFly schedules or something like that, you can just do one random flight, right? And like I was talking to Irishman about, it's gonna be nice because it will get me, you know, out of the U.S. I've been wanting to get out of the U.S. for a long time with like airliner flying, but flying with some of these career modes, you're stuck with, you know, in the U.S. And I was so just stuck in this world of like, if I have APL, I have to fly with it. You know, if I'm using iFly, if I'm using any kind of career mode, I have to fly with that. I couldn't get through my head that no, I don't have to. You know, I could fly whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. Not every flight has to make fake money in you know, a career mode. But for some reason, I couldn't get my mind out of that. Took a while, but I got there. All right, we are 18 nautical miles out. Let's go to here, and then runway 16. Oh, that said 18, but 16 straight. Minimums are probably going to be 200 again. Here we go. All set up. So we want to go down to 11, well, say 12 at straight, and then 11 at final. What I definitely need to do is figure out this damn VRR thing. It's driving me bonkers. I said I want to fly Alaska to go into snow, and I guess we might get it actually. Although the airport's probably gonna be over here. So much for that. Now I wonder if this is a dirt. Doesn't tell us there, but can we see it on a stupid VRR? Already broken. Like why? Nothing. I did nothing. The flight planner probably won't tell us either, right? This is our airport. Can't click on it, right? Whoops. Route. Small size, Hueja, runways. There's the METAR, but it doesn't tell us the runway type. Just small. Alright. Like that. It's broken again. Why? Let me try keeping it in window mode. Irishman, welcome in. Seeing you flying this makes me think you're in a special needs class or something. Ouch. Where will the next flight take place? I think I'm going to do Papua New Guinea for the last flight. Papua New Guinea for the last one. It's 2:39 a.m. and I'm getting very hungry. Oh, Jesus. Hungry at 2:39 in the a.m.? Although I get hungry sometimes at that time. No doubt about it. Completely not normal seeing this. Oh. Irishman, if you were here from the very beginning, you would know that the channel was based on GA only. And then, like, I didn't do anything with with the channel for a while, and then I came back into it, and here we are. Complete circle. Irishman, you need to do some more GA stuff too. It's, you know, the thing that's cool is, I talked about it with 757 Spy, but when I watch his stuff, because he flies in different aircrafts all the time, you know, here's something I really love. When the 340 came out, he bought it, right? And he flew it the day it came out, but he only did one flight with it. One flight. And he did, you know, other flights as well, with other aircrafts. And that's what I like about him. That's why I like him as a streamer. Because he doesn't just stick with whatever is hot. He flies whatever he wants to fly. You know, whatever the community is desiring. Sometimes. You know, I'm sure at that point the community wanted him to fly the 340. But he wanted to fly a 350. Or the 736 or something like that. But I love... That's what I really love about him as a content creator. He doesn't get sucked into, you know, I have to fly this. He just flies what he wants to. P2 is available for appointments, though. I don't know if P2 could help me. I'm pretty much a lost cause. The other day at work, I was asking all of us. Okay, so I work with 4 other people, so it's a total of 5 of us, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of us, and in my location, and I was asking. I had asked one person like who the biggest prick is. Between the 5 of us, who's the biggest prick? And he's like, well, it's either me or the manager. And I was like, hey, at least I'm nominated. I thought for sure he would have said it was me. I feel like I'm the biggest prick. That seems like a challenge now. I'm not doing enough to be number 1. And then we asked someone else, and he's like, well, it's probably the 3 of you. He's like, wait a second, that number's growing now. I gotta start being a bigger prick. And, you know, it's joking prick. I'm not like a mean asshole or anything, nothing like that, right? Just, it's fun. We make fun of each other and fun of situations. But we know that there's boundaries not to cross with each other. We know what those boundaries would be, right? So we're cautious in those aspects. But, you know, it's just like, I guess I'm not pushing it. I'm not pushing that boundary enough. All right, top of descent. Let's go ahead and start doing it now. Bring back the throttle. And we'll also go on down. Oh, I forgot to pull that back. That's fine. And VRR broken again. And rate's going to be out there. Returning to final, so we're going to bring it down to 11. drop down at 600 feet per minute should work fine. All right, that's looking good. Looking good. All right, after this, friend and I gotta play something. I guess we haven't quite decided what we're gonna do. Maybe some Diablo 4. I was thinking about buying Bellwright, because I've been thinking about that for a long time. And then American Truck Sim, but I probably won't do American Truck Sim today because I gotta then plop on my wheel and all that jazz. Although I could probably try the Moza yoke as the wheel. I was able to make it work with the NASCAR game without any problems. Something to consider, but not today. Probably do Diablo 4. Decide if I'm by Bellwright or not. I was really interested in that what's it called, the desert game? I can't remember what it's called, but it's just getting some not so good reviews. Airport is right on down here, right? Yeah, there's your airport. That's gonna be fun to find. VRR is broken in window mode and full screen as well. It's fantastic. Love to see it. Love to see it. Alright, bring that speed on back. And let's go vertical speed 300 feet per minute. And then we'll conclude today's stream. Jeez, we're almost at 2 hours. Jesus, we're gonna be a 2-hour stream. Tomorrow, I would doubt there's gonna be a stream tomorrow. I would doubt it. But there should be one on, I'm guessing there'll be one on Tuesday, not Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or maybe Tuesday and then, I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, but I have a doctor's appointment Wednesday. I'm off this coming weekend again, so I might just wait and do a stream on the weekend. We'll kind of play it by ear as we always do. But I don't know, probably not tomorrow. Probably, I would say not tomorrow. I work a different time, and I don't know if I'd have enough time to do anything in the morning. Alright, let's go and get our first notch of flaps out. And bring up that speed. Looks like we should be landing the other way, though, because the wind's shifted. It's going to be a tailwind landing. I'm not sure why Flight Sim gave me runway 16. Oh well, that's what we're taking. It's been decided. There's a runway in sight. Autopilot's off. Throttle coming down. Alright, this will be a little bit more of a challenging, this is probably the most challenging flight we've had, or landing we've had so far today. Yeah, we definitely should have been landing the other way. I'm not sure why Microsoft in his wisdom decided to land us this runway. Unless I goofed up. I was hoping this was going to be dirt, to see dirt, but oh well. Cool thing about GA is it's also airports you'll never likely thought about likely flying into. Touchdown. Verse. Gonna need all of it in this one. That tailwind. Welcome to another part of Alaska. That was a cool flight, though. That's pretty awesome. All right. Let's head on over to Papua New Guinea again. And see if I survive. I don't understand why there's no... I wonder if I got something... Do I have something turned off? Let me check my settings real quick. Alright, let's go to graphics and see if I have... Oh, yeah, don't you have to have... I'm gonna turn that on low. I don't think that's it, though. Alright, save it. Alright. Let's go to Papa. They like to call me Big Papa. And... Port Moresby. Let's depart there. I got the free add-on from FlightSim.to. It's 58 nautical miles. We'll switch it to daytime. That would be dangerous. Alright, and then let's go parking. Start flight. Alright, let's do it. The final flight tonight, Papua New Guinea. I don't know if we did... We didn't depart from Port Moresby yesterday. Whoops, picked the wrong spot. But we might be landing in the airport we were at yesterday. There's a chance of that. Alright. Hop into the cockpit. How's the weather here? Winds is pretty good. Fantastic. Like to see it. And let's go to let's go here to airport, or to aircraft, cargo. Let's load that up. And then get rid of that guy. All right. Get this all turned on. That guy there. Cool. That guy. Rotations of engines. There's a frame. Broke again. I don't understand why it's breaking. And then full. All right. Waiting for the yellow to go away. Parking brakes. Flaps coming down. Jeez, it broke already? Just freaking cleared it. Alright, that's good. Off, 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 and on. Good, grand, beautiful. Alright, let's go ahead and set altitude. I have no idea what the altitude should be at, so we'll start off at 4,000 feet. And then parking brakes released. Make our... What the hell? Am I stuck on something? What's going on? Oh, am I stuck on that? What's the shortcut key for slew? Shift Z. Alright. See if that fixes that situation. That was weird. Stupid frame. It's not for even frame gen. It's VRR. I don't know why. It's irritating me though. Alright. Let's do this. We can take off whatever direction we want. Let's go backtrack that way because that's the direction we want to go. We'll do that. Flaps are good. Rudder's set. we can just go right here and then take off. We don't need a runway here. This is an incredible add-on, a free one from on FlightSim.to. I keep saying from. It's not from FlightSim.to. It's on FlightSim.to. They didn't make it. Now, what would the world be like in Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 if it weren't for Flight Sim TO? Easy access to... Already moved it forward, whoops. To a bunch of content for free. God damn it. Why is he? Why? Alright, throttle going forward. Stabilized. I'll bring it back just slightly. Alright, there we go. 60. Gently pull back on the stick. There we go. That's a good takeoff, unlike that last one. Oh no, what was it? No, it wasn't the last one. It was one before that. It was question mark. Alright, flaps going up. Yaw dampers dampening. And we'll swing on over to the left. I guess we can just probably go to nav mode, right? Nav. And then we can go ahead and set in our climb. Okay. Very, very good. Good departure so far. It says 19 minutes. Why does it say... Must be picking up. We're picking up the speed, so that will lower down. Man, they did just an incredible job with the Kodiak. Just a phenomenal job with it, honestly. Alright, autopilot is on? Question mark? Why is vertical speed? There it goes. Okay. That was weird. Alright, vertical speed connected, doing this thing. There's NewSky, we talked about that earlier. Alright, yeah, we definitely got to go higher. Because we got to get over the mountains here. So, does it give us altitude here? It was in charts, right? But there's not going to be any charts here. No airport information. Okay. What about on the tablet? Uh-oh. Where's my tablet at? Uh-oh. Parking brake. Huh. Where'd my tablet go? Alright, never mind. Alright, looking at the legend. 10,000 feet. Holy smokes. Alright, so we either go up higher or we go around. But if we go around, we gotta go really around. So I guess we'll set it up for 11,000. That's the thing about flying in Papua New Guinea is you gotta go, sometimes you gotta go really high up. Alright, we're maxed out on our torque. There's not a lot we can do at this point other than just fly on up. Well, keep a tight eye on the speed here, though, because we're getting close to the white bar. So let's just keep a really tight eye on that one. Well, we should be all right, though, either way, but just keep a tight eye on it. So if you look at the horizon here, right? You can see that anything above the white is obstacles you're going to end up hitting. So that's why we're going to climb up to 11,000. That should help us avoid any of that issue. And then judging by our current rate of climb, we'll be at it right here. You know, 11,000. But we're not gonna, because we're gonna slowing down our vertical speed. Like right now. Let's go to 800. Okay. So we're gonna be pretty much climbing the entire flight. And then once we get to our airport, only 3.5s we're expecting to land. That's unlikely gonna happen. So we're gonna end up probably go over here to the east, swing back around, and then we'll probably land runway whatever it's gonna be, 17 maybe. That's probably what we'll end up doing. Making me wonder if we should go back, if we should go around here. There's a little bit of a... It's all red here, but there's a little bit right here we might be able to go around, be able to come around, so we're not going as high. We'll make that decision as we get closer to, but this one's going to be a little bit lower. That might be 8,000 feet, 8 to 9,000. And then we can swing in around here and kind of see what it is. That's my thought. Mr. Anderson himself, welcome in. Awesome to see the new version of the bird. Thanks for the live stream. What is your impression of the upgrade? Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. If you like the Kodiak, it's the Kodiak. If you like the Kodiak, it's the Kodiak, just better, right? It's got those little subtle changes, the walk-around mode for Flight Sim 2024, the tablet integration, which has disappeared for some reason. I don't know how to get it back. Improvements with lighting, day and night, avionics, much improved. Yeah, just a lot of really good improvements with it. Again, if you like the Kodiak, it's the Kodiak. Kodiak's a fantastic plane. I've talked about it so many times, but I've taken it around the world twice. I've taken it around the U.S. many times, South America, Europe, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, part of Canada, Iceland, so many places. I've flown this plane so much. It's also one of those things, you know, like the old expression is like riding a bike. You know, that's true to a point, because clearly, as I demonstrated on Friday, I had to relearn some things with the plane, right? I had to understand, and it's also learning to fly the plane with a new yoke, because I've really never put time into GA stuff with the Moza yoke. So learning the Moza yoke and how it works with GA aircrafts and finding the best profile set up for it was also a challenge. But also just understanding how the plane operates. You know, I was over trimming a lot on Friday, which got me into a lot of problems. I wasn't paying enough attention to the speed as well, so that got me into many problems. But as I spent a lot of time yesterday learning it, understanding it better, I got much better with the plane now. You know, very similar. I'm not quite where I was a couple of years ago with it, but I'm getting closer to that. So does it handle differently in 2020? I think it does. I think it handles better in 2024, but pretty much any plane does. Pretty much any plane does. There's no doubt about that. I would challenge people to say that a plane handles better in 2020 than 2024. I think every plane by default handles better in 2024. They messed with the flight dynamics with this plane in 2024 and improved it, in my opinion. For the good, you know, for the better, for sure. For those who don't like to fly as realistic, they may be more angry. I know for those who don't know, but when the PC-12 came out, when SWS launched the PC-12, a lot of people were angry because they were trying to make it true to life. And some of the issues with that was the plane liked to move to the left. I think it was on departure. I can't remember exactly. And then there was issues with like landing, the physics of when you are still airborne but then just barely touch the ground, that major physics difference, right? Ground handling versus air handling. That's an issue with 2020 overall, but in 2024 that's been rectified. But like, for example, the EJET, when the EJET got the compatible version for 2024, they said they didn't mess with the flight model, but it flew so much better in Flight Sim 2024. You know, just so much better. Because of that, now you have that difference between airborne, you know, flying, and then landing dynamic. And I think that's a big thing with the Kodiak as well. Very big thing. But yeah, it hand flies really nicely. Really, really nicely. Again, it takes time to dial in all your stuff, you know, all your sensitivity and all that jazz. But once you get it dialed in, man, it hand flies gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to heading mode, and we're going to swing over to the right. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's go to heading. And we are currently going to plan for the other runway. So I'm going to go over here to procedures. We're going to do visual 1.7, but we're going to do vectors this time. I'm not going to worry about the minimums. All right, so now we have at least some indication to know what we're looking for. 2,100 feet. We're almost at 10,000 feet. Because I see this little passage right there. So I don't think we got to go all the way up to 11. I'm going to go ahead and put in... I'm going to put in 10.4 for right now. And we'll just kind of go around the mountain versus over the mountain. And a 16 knot headwind right now, or sorry, tailwind, that's helping us drastically. You see, we're indicating the speed of 134, but our actual speed is 177 ground speed. You know, so we're going much faster than what we actually indicate. Yeah, this will be fine. 10.4 should be just fine. We'll level off here. We'll pick up a little bit of speed. And then we'll kind of just go through this little valley. It's tight right there, but we should be able to kind of go in. Actually, we could have probably just taken this all the way in to the 3... Was it 3.5? That's fine. We'll assess it when we... If we find the airport, we'll assess it then. Alright, now we're picking up some speed, which is good. How's our fuel looking? We should be alright with fuel. Yeah, we're still in the green. Just fine with that. Yeah, we're going to get an hour and a half or so today with the stream. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, we should be able to follow this on in. Now I'm kind of questioning, should we just do 3.5 for the arrival? I know it's not a lot of room there. We're going to drop down quite a bit. It's going to be tight to come in here too, because it's over this mountain. I think I remember this runway. You come on off over here. I'm not 100% convinced I know it. Makes me nervous. Alright, let's go ahead and start. We'll start making our descent now. Let's go 1,000 for the descent. Bring back that throttle a little bit. I think it's the airport I'm remembering. I'm going to go 1,500 feet per minute. Ease off on the speed. And if it's the airport, I'm thinking it is... I think we can do 3.5. We'll make... Again, we'll make that decision as we get a little closer to it. I want to say it's right here. Like, you get down in this valley, and then you make a quick turn to the left. And it's like right there's... Put our altitude down to 2,000 feet. Speed's coming back. Let's go down 2,000 feet per minute. Yeah, I think I'm almost positive it is now that I see it here. Okay, let's plan for 3.5 then. Let's go back. Plan for 3.5. Vectors. Alright. That should work. Swing on over to the left. We just got to make sure we bleed off that speed coming on down. Is it, yeah, the runway is 7 nautical miles out. I think it's right there. I think we can see it already. Yeah, it's right there. That's the runway. Okay. So we got visual on that. Speed coming... Slowly kind of coming back, but not enough. A little autopilot off. I can hand fly the rest of this, I think. I think. I hope. I'll zoom on in here, but I see the runway there, so that's fine. It's going to be a dirt runway, which I was hoping for in Alaska, but I guess we'll take it here too. I'm going to kind of make some S-turns here just to kind of help with the altitude. Yeah, without the Orbex pack, this airport is hard to find. There's a freeware on flights in that TO that removes a lot of the trees in the way for a lot of the airports in Papua New Guinea. But the Orbex one just, you know, helps a lot more with the visuals. A little aggressive, or a lot aggressive on this arrival. I don't know. We're just way too high still. And just kind of pull out here. That's gorgeous, man. That's just beautiful looking. Alright, speed's coming back. First notch of flaps.
500.
Alright, there's the runway. Let off a lot of the speed. Alright. Ah, we're looking good. Looking good now.
500. 500.
500.
500.
Wind's going to be a crosswind, maybe at 4 knots. That's what I'm indicating currently. Looks like it's going to be that, but we're going to drop into this valley, so who knows what's going to happen. Alright, picked up some of that speed again.
500. 500.
But if we nose up, we can easily bleed it off, so... Not concerned about that. I'm more concerned I don't have enough flaps. I'm going to drop us down aggressive here. And then we'll try to nose up it.
500. 500. 500. 500.
See if we can bleed that speed off. I'm going to get some warning here because the flaps are coming in too hot for the flaps. But we're bleeding off the speed now. Alright, we got it. We got it. It's all okay. Yeah, it's going to be a slight crosswind, nothing to worry about. Yeah, I remember this airport for sure. The other runway would have, the other direction would have been better. 17. If we had passengers, they would have been sick. And probably the pilot too. Alright. Let it slowly get on down. Touchdown. Reverse. All right. That wasn't bad. Dang VRR, though, is bothering the heck out of me. Tell you what. Alright. Parking brake is it set? I always forget. Yeah, it's set. Okay. Let's walk around real quick. Real quick. Yeah, see, it's not doing any dirt. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I have a setting turned off or what. I didn't see any of the dirt effects either when we were landing. So I must have something turned off. Something disabled. Man, such a cool plane. Such a cool plane. Alright, that's going to end it for today, folks. Thanks so much for coming on in and joining me on the stream. We did, what, 4 flights in the Kodiak? And it's incredible. It's a super fun aircraft. Again, like I said earlier, if you have the Kodiak for 2020, it's, you know, it's the same plane but even better in 2024. It's supposed to be launched, I think, on the 27th. I don't know the pricing. I don't know if it's for the 15 is for each variant, or is it a package deal? I don't know for sure. But either way, I recommend it. It's a fantastic plane, and I'll obviously be showcasing here more on the stream as time goes on. But have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks again for coming in and joining me on these flights, and we'll see you for the next one. Take care, everyone.